Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Now this was a reread for me I've read this solely through the audiobook narrated by Maggie Gyllenhaal. I ended up giving this 3.5 out of 5 stars and I'll talk about why in just a minute, but first this review is going to be in 3 parts. It's going to be a quick review, but there's 3 main parts to this review. First, we're going to have our spoiler-free summary like we always have. Then I'm going to talk about the story itself, the book itself, Anna Karenina, and then I'm going to give a quick review of the audiobook. I feel like the book itself and the audiobook deserve equal parts in this review. So first, our spoiler-free summary. This was, of course, published in 1878 in Russia. So when you're reading Tolstoy in general, but especially Anna Karenina, you have to keep that in mind in the back of your head that this was published in a totally different time and totally different place. And so some of the topics discussed in this book are, for its day, hot topics. For many, this is considered one of the world's greatest novels, which makes me hesitate in my rating of 3.5 out of 5 stars, but I'll talk about why I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars in just a minute. So in Anna Karenina, Tolstoy provides a vast panorama of contemporary 1878 contemporary life in Russia and of humanity in general. It was a controversial book for its day mostly because of its discussion of divorce. We have a main character here, Anna Karenina, who is married to a character. She has a child with one character, but she is in love with another character and has an affair with this other character and wants a divorce from her husband. But because of its time, the husband refuses for the longest time to give her a divorce. Like I said, I gave this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. My favorite parts about this book was that I loved following the characters around, and on my second read through the plot, I love the plot even more than the first, and our relationships of these characters were absolutely fantastic. We're talking about marriages, we're talking about love affairs, we're talking about friendships, we're talking about sisters. We've got all sorts of different relationships in this book, and one of the things that Leo Tolstoy and really Russian writers, classic writers in general do so well is the depiction of relationships, human relationships in their characters. I thought he just did a fantastic job with all of that in this book. There were a lot of different parts going on. I felt like for me the weakest part was the intrigue, not because I wasn't intrigued, just because it didn't feel like intrigue to me. A lot of Russian literature for me is a very soap opera-esque. There was a lot going on, a lot of drama going on, and there's a lot to keep track of, which was one of the things that was hard for me to do in this book. But to me, it was less intrigue and more just following the characters along in their everyday life and seeing the drama that just occurred in everyday life for these characters. I loved all of it. Now, let's talk about the audiobook narration. I listened to the Audible copy of this audiobook that was narrated by Maggie Gyllenhaal, and I thought she did an amazing job narrating this book. I gave an extra half star just for Maggie Gyllenhaal's narration of this book. She narrated this book with such passion. I saw a very short video clip of her talking about this project when she was working on it, and she said that Anna Karenina was one of her favorite classic books that she's read in her lifetime, and that it was an honor for her to be able to narrate this story and these characters, bring these characters to life. And I felt like Maggie Gyllenhaal captured the drama of this story and this novel in such a perfect way that it was easy to follow along with her narration, and the characters were done fantastically well, and I just felt like I was able to get the gist of each one of these characters because of Maggie Gyllenhaal's narration. So that's my short review of Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Like I said, I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. But if you're looking to get into Russian lit and you want to do it via audiobook, I highly recommend the Maggie Gyllenhaal narration of Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. If you've read Anna Karenina before, let me know in the comments below. What were your thoughts of it? Who is your favorite character? Who is your least favorite character? If you've listened to this audiobook before, let me know what you thought of Maggie Gyllenhaal's narration. Keep reading, and I love y'all to the moon and back. Bye.